Today I'm going to be running through, hey, today I'm going to be running through what a high ticket sales online sales process actually looks like from start to beginning, from lead generation and actually getting people into your process to getting them onto a call to the closing call and to the full stages of how to actually run that. Okay, so let's jump straight into it. Now, the first thing you need to understand is like, how does a sales process actually work and how does it lead to getting money? Okay, very first thing is lead generation, whether it is for your own offer or whether you're working with a creator or a business owner or even a brick and mortar pestle business, you need to be able to generate leads. If there's no leads, there's no cash flow, and if there's no cash flow, there's no business. Okay. So the marketing channel will depend very much so on your business, but majority of the time it will come from social media, ads, content, referrals, or word of mouth. Okay. So whatever channel that they have, they'll focus on that to actually generate leads. From that, then you either get inbound leads or you have to go out and outbound to the leads to be able to bring them in. But regardless, it's just lead generation. Okay. Once you've gotten leads coming in, then it becomes down to the contact points. There's a few different ways. There's going to be outbound calling, in which you're the person calling the leads. There's going to be message inquiries, in which you're DMing the leads, texting them, XYZ, and there's going to be application forms. These are called opt-ins or type forms, in which a lead is directed to a landing page or maybe an Instagram page, and they fill out a form. They put their specific information. That information is then gathered and is brought into your CRM or your database, which is also part of the lead gen. Okay. Then once you've gotten leads generated and you've made the initial contact, you need to walk them through the qualification process because not every lead that comes in is necessarily a good lead or a lead that can actually be sold to or a lead that actually needs your service. Okay. So what this looks like is this is basically your setting process. You build up your rapport on your frame, you run into your introductory, you go through a mini discovery, pretty much just asking banks. So budget, do they have the actual money to afford this? Authority, are they the person that's actually making the decision? Need, do they actually need to do this? And do they have some urgency to want to do this now? And then T, timeline. Do they have the time to be able to do this? And it is also a now thing for them. If they do fit your qualifications, then you transition to the next step, which is actually inviting them to a call and showing them how you can actually help their problem with your solution. Okay. Once you've done that, get them booked onto the call, confirm the details with them on both sides, build some urgency, and make sure that they're actually going to turn up. Okay. Pretty simple. So yeah, if the lead is actually qualified, then it all makes sense. Move to the closing call. If they are not, add them to your nurture sequence, whether that's sending them videos, whether that's sending them testimonials, whether that's flagging them in a couple months' time when they're a better fit, XYZ. Okay? And then on the closing call, they'll either be closed and they'll be onboarded into the program, in which they can actually be helped, or they won't be, and it'll be the follow-up sequence. So that's how that will work. All right. Now, this is what a qualification process actually looks like in full detail. So, like I said, establish your rapport and your frame setting. Okay, so it just sets a very clear expectation of like how the call is going to go. Then you move into your discovery, which is just going through the current situation, the background, financial situation, and the desired outcome, which is finding out their North Star, what's motivated them, and why they actually want to make change. Okay, look at the appointment setting video before this to see a bit more about how that actually works. Okay, then you go into your qualification, just seeing do they actually have the time to be able to commit towards this? Are they the main decision maker? Do they have the financial capability to actually invest? Do they align with your offer and your solution? And do they have the right urgency and motivation of it? If they do, transition to the next steps, sell the actual consultation, get them booked onto the call. You can bridge the gap between their needs and the solution. Explain what's actually going to happen in that closing call, that strategy call, so they have a very clear expectation. And then just book the call, confirm the details, set the time and the date, and make sure they're on the call. Okay. If they are not qualified, add them to your follow-up process in which you're nurturing them, you're checking in regularly, and you're providing whatever resources that you can be provided, whether that's YouTube videos, testimonials, like I mentioned, anything else. And then for unclosed qualified leads, it's just data. So identify the objection points, identify what went wrong, and that you can improve on, figure out how you're going to follow up with them, and then figure out a message just to get a good value proposition and just get them engaged. Okay. So just main thing to remember, the triage call, it's the foundation of the sales process. Okay. If you master this and you understand this, everything else will become a lot easier. All right.